Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good day so far. Happy Monday to you. It's 9:30, 4 seconds into the session. Now 9 seconds in, here we go. This is the three sisters, of course, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. These are 1-minute charts with VWAP, volume weighted average price, for the future session that began at 6 p.m. last night. That's Sunday evening, New York time. These are 2.5 standard deviation bands, as most of you would know who follow my stuff. Those who don't, just got a quick overview of what we're looking at here. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow, as I mentioned, I call them the three sisters. This is the 30-minute chart of the NASDAQ right there. This is my power grid. It's the daily chart for the NASDAQ, 30-minute chart, and the 1-minute chart here for now, at least for the opening 1 minute or so. Let me just get the open range on here. Is that it? Nope. Is this it? Yes, it is. See that little red line there, or pink, whatever that is, forming, and there it is. There's the open range, the 1 minute open range. You'll notice that we are at the bottom of the Asian and European range. Europe, of course, is still open until about 11:30 this morning. It's now 9:31 a.m. Daily is an inside day on the NASDAQ. It's also an inside day. Let me just show this to you. Inside day daily here on the NASDAQ, inside day on the S&P, and inside day on the Dow. Notice the structure on the Dow here. We've had this impulse down on the daily, corrective so far on the daily, whereas we've had impulse up on the NASDAQ and beginning a rounding, or at least in the process of rounding here on the NASDAQ and the S&P. That high and low is last week's high and last week's low. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and of course we're back to Monday. And so we are at the higher end of last week's range on the NASDAQ and the top half on the S&P, and we're kind of in the middle to top half of last week's range on the Dow. That's kind of the bigger picture context. We'll be watching all of this now, of course. And we have a clean traffic zone down here that goes back to Wednesday of last week, Jan 5th. Today is June 5th, pardon me. Today is June the 10th. And so if we can get down into here, we could have some smooth sailing, assuming we get past this wick rejection here, which is a very important one, by the way. Violent rejection after 8:30 news on Friday. I'm going to be very patient here on the open. Won't be taking any action until price action gives me no choice. So action on price action. And of course, this is Monday too. Manic Monday, meandering Monday, moody Monday, messy Monday. All kinds of M words for the Monday. I like to be extra patient on Mondays as the various participants decide what they want to do here for the week. And that's usually a little bit of a messy, sloppy start to the day. Not always, but usually. And so playing the odds here and just being super careful. I'll put you on pause and cut out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, things of that nature, and just bring you back for if and when there is a setup. Last week I had 2 or 3 days with no trades and or a couple of break-even trades. Just one of those days where some of the moves happened in the European session or didn't happen until lunchtime, when I step away and things like that. Hoping for a little bit more activity this week. But of course, I don't need that. I'm not here, you'll often hear me say, I'm not here to trade. I'm here to make money and to extract profits from the market when those profits are made available to me in the form of optimal trade setups. Moving a little higher here now on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look and see if we got an agreement disagreement from the Dow and from the S&P, both of which are dropping or hanging about, combination of the two. So nothing for me to do here, guys. Pressing up on the NASDAQ, but below open range and EMAs on the S&P and the Dow. One of the big mistakes some traders make is to jump in the moment they see kind of a break of pre-market structure here on the 1 minute, not really considering what's happening here on the 30 or on the daily, for instance. We're in decision mode on the daily so far. Or what's happening on the other sisters, right? looking for some form of support or consistency here. I don't need complete alignment and agreement, but the absence of violent disagreement would be helpful. And right now, it's just a lot of indecision. Again, on Mondays, I typically give this market a little more space to do its thing, given that there's very often a tug of war between the bulls and the bears, just making decisions after a weekend of sitting and doing nothing. So the fact is, if prices can get above here, this is a fairly minor zone, guys. I would even think about, I'm going to delete this one just so it doesn't confuse and have you believe that that zone that I had there from this minor pivot, just kind of rounding here, a few candles ago, has as much weight as, say, this one down here. It does not. It looks identical, of course, but I've deleted it because it actually doesn't. This one is not very meaningful either, quite frankly. This whole range is the big one. This is what really matters here, is this to this. And so if we can get some kind of a long setup here that makes sense, I may in fact consider longs, but I will need some agreement, some more agreement here from at least one of these partners, these sisters, and some firming up here. And it looks like the S&P is trying to do so. I'll put you on pause here, guys, as nothing is really happening here. All right, guys, for now, I'm going to place a buy stop order right here, and it's live. Stop below the low of the session. I'll be looking for 1 hour, as is typically the case now during this low VIX environment. And during other market periods, you'll see me go for 2 hours, certainly 1.5 hours without too much trouble whatsoever. That's not the market we are in right now. This NASDAQ does feel like it wants to push higher here, and the S&P is failing to drop and has put in a number of wicks on the 1 minute chart. Flip over very quickly. You see this here? Just like a tiny barcode, a micro barcode. Dropping down now though, so maybe I'll cancel that order. We'll see. I'm just going to watch this. This could be just taking out a few stops down here. If these two firm up, I will keep that order intact. This one here, of course. All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. From here, right now, moving my stop to enter. Nope, right above this candle right here. Stop below, session low. This is a break and a retest. And I am watching the three sisters very intently here. Watch this. Firming, right? 1, 2. I would need this to break that shift candle, this drop candle. If we get back above that, that's a bullish sign. And that's why I require this candle to be broken. And I'm in, guys. And I'm in. Long the NASDAQ. Firming up on all three. And now it's the waiting game. Hey guys, we're back, and we just passed the 50% mark on the way to the promised land here. I'm going to move my stop to break even and play it really safe here and conservatively on this meandering, messy, very messy price action Monday. And we'll see where we go from there. There's a reasonable chance that we'll get stopped out at break even, and I'm okay with that. Just wanted to give this thing a chance to work, and so far it's doing okay, but I had to wait quite a while for it. So my stop is at break even, and we'll see how we do from here. And there it is, guys. Took a while to play out, but eventually we got there. I did move my stop to break even once we got to about here, just to play it safe here on this Manic Monday. I don't always do that, by the way. In fact, most of the time I don't move my stop to break even. But on things like Monday, or when it's really sloppy and messy like this, or when the three sisters have started to disagree, which they did in through here, and they started to falter in terms of the inside of the candles themselves when I was watching this. And I'm starting to get mixed messages, and I will often do that. But for the most part, this trade worked out. It just kind of took a while to play, and this was grindy, and that is what happens on Mondays. But if you get the structure right, and if you get the idea right, and if you place your stops in the right place, even on messy, manic Mondays, you can still make some money here, and that's what we did today. So we have a bull market, guys. Why did I go long? Bull market overall. This is the all-time high right there. That was on Friday, of course. And we're right up in there. This is an inside day, so that means both longs and shorts are permitted. But by definition, it is a ranging day for now, right? When New York opens, so anything can happen. We can break out of that range of Friday. Friday was actually a fairly big range, so it gives us some leeway there. Then we had this driving down into the New York Open, into support, a break above, and then pulling back, as you can see here, pulling back, double bottoms, break above pivot, and then away we go. Now, ideally, this would have just blown right through. We would have been done. This took a little while, but again, if you get all those pieces right with a stack of units of conviction, good things can happen. Thanks for being here. Have an amazing day and a great week. We'll see you soon. Take care.